Hey guys, Jessica Ruffin and NBC Sports' Steve Letarte here from NASCAR Fantasy Fastlane. Regular season's over at Indianapolis. We're headed to the playoffs now at Las Vegas, and we've got a new playoff game for you guys. So what are some of the new rules, Steve, this time?
Well, the most important rule is that the points reset. Why that's important? Because I beat Jessica in the regular season. I wasn't the best out of the NASCAR Fantasy Fastlane crew, though. RJ Kraft did beat me, so I'm thankful the points reset. But there are more changes than just points. When you look at the lineup and how you pick a lineup for NASCAR Fantasy Live, it changes. You now can have 2 drivers that are currently playoff eligible. And remember, that changes as drivers become eliminated. Right now you have 16 to choose from. In the next round you'll have 12, and they'll continue to be eliminated all the way to Miami. No limit. Use them as many times as you want as long as they're still in the playoffs. You also have to pick 2 drivers not in the playoffs. That's very difficult here in week 1, Jessica, because we have 16 playoff drivers. So 2 playoff, 2 non-playoff drivers.
You've also got a bonus pick, right? We've got a bonus pick that you guys have to set before the playoffs start at Las Vegas.
You're going to have to pick the champion, and that is going to be difficult. Is it going to be one of the big 3? Is it going to be somebody like Joey Logano? Maybe Brad Keselowski? He's on such a hot streak. But before the playoffs start, you have to decide who the champion's going to be.
All right, so your 4 playoff drivers at Vegas, who are you looking at?
So I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to give you my top 4, starting with the 4th, the weakest of the 4, and that's the 78 of Martin Truex Jr. He won at Las Vegas in March of 2017, so you would think he would be a favorite, but there's been a little bit of just something taken out of this 78 team since the story of the team closing. We're going to have to see if he recovers, but right now, not one of the favorites. As I move down the list and look at my 3rd favorite driver, Brad Keselowski. How could you ignore what he's done the last 2 weeks? He won at Darlington, he won at Indianapolis, and in the last 5 Las Vegas races, he has won 2 and was passed for the win in the other 2, so he has run consistently well out in Sin City. So who does that leave? Well, number 2, Kyle Busch. 4th or better in 3 of the last 5 Las Vegas races, not to mention he's having a great 2018. I think he's going to continue that momentum in the playoffs, but he is not my favorite. My number 1 driver when it comes to playoff drivers, Kevin Harvick. He won both stages and the race in Las Vegas in March. I expect him to continue that domination into the playoffs.
Well, this game also requires you to pick 2 non-playoff drivers at least in your lineup each week. So for Las Vegas, who are you looking at for your non-playoff driver?
Well, I'll give you a list of 4, and I'm going to tell you the truth. It was hard to come up with 4 because 16 guys are playoff drivers. So let's start with Paul Menard. He has the best average finish on 1.5-mile tracks among non-playoff drivers this year. It's just inside the top 15, so I think he has to be considered. Another driver, my 3rd favorite probably, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He was the 3rd driver on the outside looking in, so he was close to the top 16, and he has a top 10 already on 1.5 miles in 2018. So who does that leave? Well, I look at Ryan Newman. He had a strong run at Indianapolis, not good enough to make the playoffs, but he has 8 top 10s in 18 Las Vegas races, and he finished 11th back in Las Vegas in March. My number 1 non-playoff driver, well, that's the driver of the number 1 car, Jamie Mcmurray. It was reported this weekend that he won't be back at Chip Ganassi in 2019, so I expect him to try to continue the momentum, end his career at Chip Ganassi in style, try to have a great run through the playoffs.
All right, we've heard your playoff picks, we've heard your non-playoff picks. So what's your lineup look like for this weekend?
Well, I gave you my top 4 of each, so I'm going to have to stick with them when I work on my lineup. So let's talk about playoff drivers. It starts with Kevin Harvick. He's absolutely my lineup, and the 18 of Kyle Busch, he's going to be on there as well. When I look at non-playoff drivers, the 1 of Jamie Mcmurray, the 31 of Ryan Newman, and then I think there are 16 playoff drivers, so I'm actually going to use a playoff driver in the garage. I'm going with the hot hand, the 2 of Brad Keselowski. He'll be in my garage.
Okay, well, who's your winner pick that you think will survive this weekend at Las Vegas?
Well, I think Kevin Harvick. I think not only will he be fast, but he is a veteran. He will remain patient, do what he always does at slick racetracks like Chicago and Atlanta. He'll do what he needs to do, and he'll win at the first race of the playoffs. I'm
going to ask you another pick, too, because, you know, we have to make that 60-point bonus pick before this weekend at Las Vegas. So, who is your championship pick?
My championship pick, Kyle Larson. Not one of the big 3, not one of the big 4. I'm going to go out on a limb, a little bit of a gamble. I'm not sure he can make it to Miami, but if Kyle Larson does make it to Miami, I know he can win there. He'll win the championship, and I'll win those 60 bonus points.
Well, be sure you guys set your lineups and tweet Steve and I with any questions you have this week, and be sure to get those bonus picks, especially the championship pick.
And if you want to tune in, 3 p.m. on NBCSN, catch myself, Dale Jr., Jeff Burton, Rick Allen, the first race of the playoffs. It's going to be a blast.
And if you guys want to win a custom truck in the NASCAR playoffs, a custom Chevy, Ford, and Toyota truck built by fans for fans is on the line. Go to NASCAR.com/playoffs promo now to enter for your chance to win the ultimate ride.